Hey, welcome back. Woodley here. It's a beautiful fall Saturday morning here, and you can see we got the mini excavator behind me. A little more about that in just a minute, but I want to talk to you about one of the most important aspects if you're looking to build a home and you're considering contractors and what are you looking for? Well, first and foremost, you want someone who has knowledge of their skill and some history. Have they done work for people who've liked it? But second of all, you really want someone who is a good communicator. And I'm going to tell you why, in this situation, how important that is. If you've seen the early video, we talked about planning for power and the difficulty of being a long distance from a power pole. And where we live here in New York, you basically can't get any information. So I won't revisit all of that material, but you can go and watch that video. But what this today illustrates in having our excavator operator here is just how much communication has to happen and how much coordination has to happen in order to keep a project moving forward. So we had reached out after we got the foundation and the driveway in. We contacted National Grid. There was some paperwork that needed to be filled out. They sent a planner up here onto site. And then after that planner came, we had kind of developed a plan of what to do, but we weren't done there. So they sent me some paperwork. I had to fill out an easement so that they could have access to it. We had to send payment into them for that. And so those things were on my responsibility as the owner. So sent those things, followed up with the lawyer, made sure that those, they had received the easement, that had come in. And then the guy who was overseeing all of the projects, he's got quite a big operation. So I just followed up with him in an email and said, hey, just want to make sure that check came through, because it needed, you could mail it or you could wire it. And so I just did a bank check and mailed it in. And he said, listen, I got like 500 something jobs. I'm covering for a coworker who's got 600 open projects. Check back with me in a week. So I followed up a week later and said, hey, I know you got a lot going on, but my contractor's just wanting to know if we can get this thing planned, because we need to make plans in the project. And so kind of identifying that this guy has a lot of work. I'm not trying to undermine that, and also just express the reason for my inquiry is not to bash him, but to help our project keep working on. And I think people understand that. And so he said, what's the soonest you can do it? And then this is where that piece with your contractor is so important. So this was a Monday morning. I got the email, how soon can you do this? And then this was this past Monday. And so I got a hold of Paul, who's our builder with New Frontiers. He said, let me call Wayne, who's our excavator operator. And got back to me and said, let's see if we can schedule it for next Monday. Wayne can get up here on the weekend. The risk that we have is when we dig this hole, at the base of the hole, we need to put 6 inches of sand in. And so since it's on the downslope, if you're going to have heavy rain, all of that sand could move to the bottom of the trench, which could become a problem with it. But within a few hours, Paul was able to get a hold of Wayne and get back to me with a plan. I was able to get back to the guy from National Grid with that plan. He was able to verify that they had a team available this Monday. And so, I just talking with Wayne quick and brought him some water and said, hey, Wayne, appreciate you making time to be here. And he's like, well, this is an important thing. And he was able to prioritize it. But what is illustrated in that is, Paul has the relationship with Wayne where, number one, Wayne is going to answer his phone call. And number two, Wayne's going to understand what it takes to keep a project moving and how to fit that within his planning. And then he's able to get that information to me. I'm able to get that information to National Grid, and the project is able to move forward. Now, in the absence of that kind of communication and management, you know, who knows, you add an extra month, 6 weeks, 2 months to a project because if you don't have someone who's able to communicate in a timely manner and the workflow related to those things. So I don't think I could stress enough, if you're in the consideration for these projects, or, you know, if you're someone who's in the trade yourself there with it, just how valuable that is to have a contractor who is able to do that kind of work. And so what you see so often is, like, a big part of what they do and what you're paying them to do is not necessarily themselves to be the one who is taking care of all of, you know, the skill aspects of it, although that may happen and that may work. But what their primary function is to keep the job moving and to ensure the quality of the final product that you have with that. So from the beginning, in my interactions with New Frontiers and with Paul, that was one of the things that, like, I recall saying to Shelley, once you know you have the right person, you don't go keep looking. And so that was, like, just the first interactions that I had with Paul. I talked to him on the phone, then we met in person up here on the property, and once we realized it was in the realm of possible, you know, we just moved forward and didn't have to question all those other things. And I'm not saying it's wrong to question or wrong to go through those things. I'm just saying that early on, and when in your evaluation process, you want to, like, assess, is this somebody that I can easily communicate with? Do they do they listen? Do they respect what I have to say? Are they teaching me things? You know, am I learning from talking to them? Are they able to do that? And are they able to do it in a reasonable time frame? You know, I don't expect that every call or message has to be answered right away. You know, there's other things going on in my life and their lives, and you know, things get away from you. That happens. I don't hold that against anyone. But when it comes down to, there's certain areas where things have to move and they have to move quickly, you want someone who is able and willing to be responsive in that. And, you know, if those skills are lacking in them, you're going to experience some frustration throughout your project that you would not otherwise experience with someone who is better on the communication end of things. So, the reason I'm sharing this is because I have a lot of these conversations, you know, now that I'm in this project. Once people know that you're doing something, they start talking to you about the things that they're doing. You know, they see these videos, different things, and then you start getting in these conversations, and you know, these are the types of things that you want to be aware about in this process. And so when I was trying to learn, you know, everything that I could about this journey, it was helpful for me to have places like videos like this where I'm gaining knowledge and information about those types of things. So let me know what you think, and I'll show you a little glimpse of this work with the mini excavator here. Looking at in that stake right in front of us is the location for the power pad, and we've got the mini excavator here on a Saturday morning digging this trench, and we got a load of sand over here because we need 6 inches of sand at the bottom of that hole. And then from the telephone pole that is down there, they're going to bury that line up here, and they'll put a transformer here on the ground for this. these guys are great. They such quality and efficiency. And yeah, hit the like button. Catch you on the next one.